and welcome to this week's video. Today I'm going to show you how to draw the Gruffalo in pencil and add a splash of colour. So if you're ready, let's go. So to start this drawing of the Gruffalo then, I decided to draw a grid like I did last week to make it a little bit easier to follow along, and that started off by drawing a vertical line down the middle of my page and then using the width of my ruler to draw 4 rows after that. So in the first row here I'm drawing a rough circle, and that's going to be his head, and I then at this point decided to draw 2 more lines either side of the centre just to then show you how wide his body's going to be, and I've numbered these rows 1 to 4. So a rough circle for his tummy, his body, and then a line going from his head to join the head to the body there. And that circle on the right hand side for his tummy kind of goes down to the bottom of row 3, but on the other side we're going to attach that to his leg because he's standing to the side. And I've done his feet about halfway along in row 4, and they're fairly simple shapes, they're just kind of rectangle shapes. I'm then angling off his shoulder there, ready to draw his arm on that side and lining it up with the edge of his head there. To make his Gruffalo jaw shape, I've then drawn a line underneath following around the circle that I drew first of all for his head, and then extending it out a bit to give him that long jaw shape. Underneath his jaw I'm then doing a circle for his hand and extending that out to show where his arm is. Now for his face I've done 2 circles for eyes. The first circle is going to be on the other side of his head, so they're not going to be perfectly round, but the eye that's nearest to us is going to kind of be up against that midline that we drew in the first place. So then I'm just putting on some ears and his horns, and they're fairly straightforward shapes, before then going in to do a bit more detail for his face. He's got a funny little bump on his nose, and making sure we do his eyebrows as well to give him that puzzled look, and then to do his teeth up that come in between his eyes, before then doing the other teeth that go up and down, just like we're drawing there. So it's beginning to look like the Gruffalo now, and we just go in and draw the hand and some claws, which are just little V shapes that I've done on the end of his hand. Now just drawing his little knobbly knees and the rest of his feet. And that's just adding some detail into the fairly simple shape that I drew in the first place, although for some reason I did struggle a bit with the claws on his feet. So to finish off the drawing stage, I then decided to draw a mouse, just standing next to him there. And he's looking up at the Gruffalo, so his little black pupil will be high up to make him look like he's looking up. And there we have it. So I'm just going to go and outline this drawing now, and using my black fine liner again. You don't have to do this stage, but I think it gives it a nice effect to make it stand out. So I decided to draw the Gruffalo today because it's always been a favourite in our house, and as well as loving the storyline by Julia Donaldson, who wrote it, we also really love these illustrations by Axel Scheffler, and so it was really fun to try and do a picture of the Gruffalo here. So once I'd done all the outlining, I then went in and rubbed out all the guidelines and the grid underneath, all ready to start shading in with our pencil. So the pencil I'm using is a 6B, I think, and this was the one I used last week as well, because it's really nice and soft and you can get a good variation of shades with this. And to start with, I just go in and put a sort of a fairly light covering of pencil and do it as smoothly as I can in small circles to fill his body in. And then once I've done that, I go and put in some darker areas, so pressing a little bit hard with my pencil just to show some shadow areas and give it a bit more interest. Again, you don't have to draw it in pencil, you can use your colouring in pens, crayons, felt tips, but I just like this sort of effect where you can shade it in pencil and then really make it stand out, make it look a bit different by doing just one or two colours that we add in at the end. So the areas that I'm doing in dark are all the areas that will be in shadow. And here I'm just making sure that his knees weren't too dark, because they are actually quite a light colour if you're looking at a colour picture. And then to blend all those shading marks in, I just use my pencil stump, but a clean finger will do, or a tissue, as we said before, anything just to sort of blend that in and soften any lines that you might have got. And once I'd done that, I just started to add a few lines to show that he's got hair on his body rather than just smooth. So I just added those in with my pencil, and that was pretty much all over. And that done, I decided to add my yellow colour pencil with a little splash of orange as well to make his eyes really stand out. I also chose to do little mouse in colour as well, just so that you didn't get mist standing underneath the Gruffalo there. I also used a white pastel pencil just for areas like the claws, his horns and his teeth. And then finally just doing a little bit of shading underneath where they're standing, and that was just to make his claws stand out. And there we have it, all done. That's all for today, ArtCadets. I hope you've enjoyed today's video drawing the Gruffalo. If you have, then please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you next week. Bye!